What's up, guys? Matty here at mixandmastermysong.com. Today we're going to be checking out Unfiltered Audio's new plugin called Triad. What it is a multi-effects processor, basically, but you can process things both in a multi-band way and in a parallel way. So we'll go through it and you can check it out, but huge range of possibilities of things you can do with this plugin, both as like a sound designer and as a mixer. Before we do get started, please make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. Let's go. All right, guys, so here's the song we're working on. It's our buddy Meekins song. You've probably heard this a few times if you watch any of my videos. Here is the plugin in its default state. This is actually, I set it up this way for myself. It usually comes with saturation on, but this is just it completely dry. So here's where your processes are, basically. So you can do a 3-band, process it in a 3-band way. You can process it in a 2-band way, 3 times parallel. So now this is parallel channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, parallel 2, and it's also got mid, side, and left and right. So, I mean, you can process things any way you want, which is really cool. I'm a big fan of like these new plugins that do something different than just another, emulation of 1176 or something. So really cool options of how to get started. And then, once you pick which way you want it, you can, your different bands come up here. So they're like channel strips, basically. So you have high, which is here, mid and low. And then you click on here, and that's where the actual effects come on. So on, the high channel, we have a stereo imager. You click these 3 dots, and these are all the different styles and plugins, or whatever you want to call it, that you have options for, which are just like infinite. You got stutter effects on delays, tape delays, distortions, all kinds of distortions, compressors, different filters, granular effects, mixing effects, a 3-band EQ if you need it, stereo imager, modulation with tremolo and flanger and chorus, and then quite a few reverbs too. So there's a ton of stuff to do with this. You can actually spend quite a long time messing around with this plugin, which I did. But that's the basic setup of it and how it works. It's also got this modulation section, which I'm not actually going to get into today just because for me it's a little bit too much, but loads of stuff to use. Another cool thing is when you put it on a plugin. Let's put this on this drum bus. I have one set up just because it takes a little time to get a cool sound out of it. But when you put it on the drum bus, for instance, you can hit this instant snap button, and it will move the multibands to the frequencies that the processor sees fit as far as strength of frequency, if that makes any sense. So actually, I'll play it so you can see. So you see how they all just snapped more to the low end because it's the kick's the strongest thing, obviously, on this loop here. Now the cool thing is you can unmute them here, or mute solo kind of thing, turn them off, and now we would just hear the low end. So you might need headphones if you're just listening on a laptop. You're not going to hear that, but that's just the low end part. So really cool. I like the ability that you can focus in on a certain frequency range, tweak it, and then bring everything back in. So let's take this one off. Let's loop this little section here, and I'll pull up the first thing I did with it. This is just my drum loop, basically my kick and snare. So you can hear just a little kick, snare, and a bongo in there. So for this one, I use the 3x parallel mode. So we're using this as a parallel chain. So it's almost like we have 3 different faders in a way. And these are your volumes right here. So you can turn it up or down if you want chain 1 up, chain 2 up, chain 3 up. So in the first one, it's just dry. I just have the regular signal coming through, right? And then the second one, what we did is I used a compressor and as parallel compress and just compress the living hell out of it. So let me mute the 2 other ones so you can hear just the compressor. So you can hear it's just squashing the living daylights out of the drums. And then this one we turned on overdrive. So I'll just like basically distorted the drum signal. So this gives it some crunch, and through small speakers that will really help push the low end out. So take a listen to it with and without all three together. So this is with it off. Pretty cool, huh? Really just pulls the drums together, makes them thicker, stronger, a little more grimy. And it's cool too if you did just maybe the parallel processes, you have a mix knob here. So you can also, if you wanted to take all that and just blend that, you can do that too. So like infinite possibilities with this. So let's go away from that and then switch over to the bass here. And here we switched it up. So this is actually the 3-band processing. So instead of using it as a parallel processor, we're using it as a frequency dependent processor where, you know, we can do effects for just the little low end section, effects for this mid section, and effects for the high section. So on this one, the high just left it alone. There wasn't a whole lot of information there anyway. Let me actually play this without anything so you can hear it. So there's just the high. And then on the mid section, gave a little bit of overdrive just to kind of push it through a bit. And then not so much, so the low end, just to warm it up and give it a little bit of grind, but not make it super distorted, we use a saturation plugin for a bit of tape sound. So let's check it out with and without. So it's pretty subtle, right? But when I pull this thing back in the mix and turn it on and off, you're going to really hear it.
Freshman, but she in the club. Yeah. She got 2 years before she 20.
Let's mute these vocals real quick. You can just feel kind of the bass kind of stand up a bit more in the mix, and that's mostly the overdrive in this mid section. And then the other cool thing you can do is after you do these effects, you can actually turn this section up and down. So we pulled the mid back a bit because the overdrive was so strong, and boosted up the highs a bit and boosted up the lows a bit. So really cool, especially for using like on kicks and basses where you want to maybe have a little bit of the tap and a little bit of the low end and be able to blend those. Just using it just with the gain is cool, and then you can add effects to it as well. So really dig the plugin in that respect. So now let's go to the last example here, and we used this vocal here. So this is the chorus section Cam did, and so this one is a little more detailed than the others. So once again, use it as a 3x parallel, so we have 3 parallel channels. So channel 1 is, you know, what I kind of consider the dry, regular channel of Cam. A little bit of saturation, not much, just a little hard clip. And then I boosted some highs with this 3-band EQ at 20K. So, you know, really, really high highs. Compressor, once again, we're doing a parallel compression, really hard compression on there. And then this last channel, 3, is a tape delay going into a lo-fi reverb, into an overdriver, and then it's filtered. So that's where it gets really cool about building effects. And you know, like I said, you can get lost in this and just build like really cool reverb effects and stuff like that with this plugin and just use it as that. But I do really like these parallel channels, so I thought I'd show you guys with the parallel channels. So let's hear this vocal without all this and then with it.
Big joints.
I think what we'll do is solo it too.
Big joints. When you call me, bitches got me stressed out. Get them off me. Big joints. When you call me, bitches got me stressed out. Get them off me. I'm flying to the next spot. I'm always on the run. Some people act like you live more than once. Big joints. When you call me, bitches got me stressed out. Get them off me, I'm flying to the next spot. I'm always on the run.
So yeah, pretty cool stuff, man. I mean, just if you want to take off this third one too, we could, just so you can hear with the parallel.
Big joints when you call me. Big joints when you call me.
So lots of cool stuff. I mean, just using the parallel compression is actually pretty cool. And then if you want to throw that effect on there, that works well too. So long story short is this plugin just gives you infinite possibilities of things you can do. A really pretty cool plugin. I love these new plugins where they're doing something different, like I said earlier, and not just using the same old 1176 compressor or another LA2A. We have like 4,000 SSL plugins. It's like really cool to have something new and exciting to use that you can change your sounds up with. So hopefully this video was interesting for you guys. If you have any comments, please leave them below. If you need your songs mixed and mastered, hit me up at mixandmastermysong.com. You can also find some of my courses and presets there as well. See you in the next video.